Good morning, PT on Ice crew. I think we're live on Facebook, live on Instagram. We're ready to go. Good to go here. So let's get it going. Good morning. Welcome to the PT on Ice Daily Show. My name is Guillermo Contreras. I'm a physical therapist in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm also CrossFit L1. And I'm a TA in the fitness athlete as well as the older adult division of ICE. So if you're taking the live courses for older adult, there's a chance you may see me there out on the road sometime. If you're taking either the online Essential Foundations courses or the live courses for fitness athlete, there's a good chance you would run into me there as well. So hopefully if I've not met you, we get to meet at some point down the road and get to hang out and do some fun fitness stuff together. So things coming up for ICE right now. I'm going to just talk about fitness athlete as well as older adult. We are back on the road, so that's some really exciting stuff. This past weekend, I know Zach was down in Arizona with Megan for Fitness Athlete Live, so they looked like a great time. Really jealous of them. But then coming up, not this month, but next month in February, Zach will be down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana at CrossFit Go for Fitness Athlete the weekend of February 20th. And then on the weekend of March 13th, I believe it's Zach as well, he'll be down in Greenville, South Carolina. So if you're in either of those areas, you want to check those courses out or have been dying to take the live course, check those out. PTOnice.com and sign up for those so you can get there as well. We also have, I believe, Essential Foundations just started. I don't know why I said I believe. We definitely just started Essential Foundations online, the current cohort. So the next cohort starts up in March. So if you're interested in taking Essential Foundations from Fitness Athlete, jump on the website. You can sign up now, I believe, for the March cohort. Older adult, they got a couple coming up. They just had one this past weekend. I'm not entirely sure where, but they had them this past weekend. And then we have another one coming up, not this coming weekend, but the following weekend. So the final weekend of January, weekend of January 30th. Older adults is going to be in Cabot, Arkansas. I think it's Cabot or Cabot probably, Arkansas. So that's one. And then in first weekend of February, so they are chugging along. February 6th, they're going to be in Olathe, Kansas. So up in Kansas, over in Kansas, in Kansas. So you'll have plenty of opportunities to take either one, fitness athlete or I mentioned the older adult, on the live courses there. So check those guys out at ptonice.com. Sign up, and hopefully we can catch you there sometime soon. For the topic of today, we're going, the title, right, is No Pain, No Gain. You got to emphasize the question mark in there. It's something that we hear a lot of times in the clinic, and I mean, you more than likely you've heard it way before even you started working as a physical therapist. No pain, the idea of no pain, no gain. If you're not working hard enough, if you're not hurting, you're not really getting the gains. You got to have pain to have gains, things like that. I hear it a lot in the clinic from patients who are working hard and like, oh, it's kind of achy or painful, like, yeah, but no pain, no gain. And then obviously it's true to an extent, right? You obviously are not trying to elicit pain. You're not trying to cause pain, but minor discomfort, some sort of soreness is very normal as a process of healing and adapting to the stresses we're trying to place our patients through and trying to help them evolve, not only in improving whatever pain is going on, but also improving their strength and their mobility and their fitness gains in the clinic in some way as well. So what I'm talking about here today is the idea that opposite end of the spectrum, a lot of times individuals or physical therapists are afraid of causing pain or don't want any pain at all, are very, very cautious, or very, very, oh, let's not lower it. No, it shouldn't hurt at all. Let's lower the weight. Let's make this even easier for you. Oh, it's already pretty light. Oh, you're feeling something. Let's go ahead and drop that even more. And the idea that any pain is not okay, when in fact pain can be something that can be beneficial, or at least pain threshold, right? And that's the study I'm going to talk about here. A randomized control trial done in 2019. It was published in JOSPT. It was titled Pain-Free versus Pain Threshold Rehabilitation Following Acute Hamstring Strain Injury. It's a randomized control trial, like I mentioned. Let me preface this by saying that, again, this is not for all cases, right? If you have a post-operative ACL repair, if you have post-operative rotator cuff repair, anything else where we have to respect tissue healing time and respect tissue healing as a whole, we need to make sure that those things are a priority as we're trying to progress someone. There we want to be a little bit more cautious. However, when we're talking about, for example, in the study, just an acute hamstring strain or acute rotator cuff soreness or pain, some mild knee pain where the quad's a little achy, Those are the areas where I feel majority, or not majority, but a lot of individuals or a lot of therapists will tend to even ease off a little bit and not be comfortable with pushing someone into those pain thresholds that they can tolerate. So in this study, they took 43 men with a hamstring strains, acute injuries, hamstring strains, and they placed them into two groups. One was put in a pain-free rehab group where they were not allowed to have any pain, or like a 0 to 1 at most. Just hey, they push yourself, but don't cause any pain at all. And then the other was the pain threshold group. The pain threshold group was allowed to experience pain throughout rehab. Some of the men were even allowed to have up to 7 out of 10 on a numeric rating scale. And if you ever rated your own pain or had patients rate their pain, a 7 out of 10 is no joke. That's some pretty intense discomfort. That's not comfortable to have 7 out of 10 pain. A lot of people like don't even let individuals be comfortable with like a 2 or 3 out of 10 pain. So 7 out of 10 pain is pretty high. What this study showed was when comparing pain threshold to pain-free rehab, both groups, as far as in the study, were able to return to play at the same time. Okay, so there was no difference in allowing pain or avoiding pain as much as possible as far as the return to play criteria. Both went at the same time. I believe the pain-free group went back at 15 days. The pain threshold group went back at 17 days. So a 2-day difference, not a huge difference as far as that timeline goes. However, what they did find was that the pain threshold group had greater improvements in knee strength recovery. So that they tested that with an isometric knee flexion in 90 degrees of hip and 90 degrees of knee flexion. Isometric knee flexion there in muscle fascicle length, so of the biceps femoris. So you could say just like length of the hamstring, that didn't tense up, didn't kind of reduce its length, it didn't increase tone, right? So they were able to maintain that flexibility and motion in there. And those are some big things, right? When you have strength that's able to maintain its place there, as well as motion that's allowed to reign by being allowed to push yourself and have a little discomfort, it's great because it allows you to jump back into whatever you were doing sooner rather than kind of approaching it cautiously. So what they said, the results of the study was pain threshold rehabilitation did not accelerate return to play clearance, but resulted in greater recovery isometric knee flexor strength and better maintenance of biceps femoris biceps femoris long head fascicle length compared to pain-free rehabilitation. So that was just their results or their conclusion. What they failed to mention on there was that the group that was allowed to experience pain, the pain threshold group, had a notable significant difference in their subjective report of fear of movement and slash kinesiophobia as measured on the Tampa scale for kinesiophobia, which is huge. Think about the patients you see who do have an injury, who maybe are not your fitness athletes, your hardcore weekend warriors, anything like that, who hurt their leg or their shoulder or their knee, and now they're afraid of doing that again to cause some pain and discomfort and limiting themselves once it happens. Imagine being able to push someone in the clinic where they have some discomfort. You're able to have those conversations. You're able to educate them to allow them to understand that some discomfort is normal and that what we're trying to do is push you to a place where you have better strength, better activity tolerance, and overall better long-term outcomes following rehab if we're able to allow you to push those barriers of pain and discomfort a little bit. And that's kind of what they showed in this study. Again, not 100% applicable to everybody, but huge as far as for those who are trying to treat patients and get them a little bit more comfortable with not only feeling discomfort, but also once they leave the clinic, understanding, okay, a little bit of pain does not equate to damage. I'm okay. Let me continue to do what I want to do. Let me push myself. And it really helps you get these patients continue living independently. Now, cool study, right? How do we apply it in the clinic? It's going to depend on who you're working with, just like with anything else, right? I see both fitness athletes in the clinic as well as my own practice. I see the older adults. I see middle-aged men and women. I see workers' comp, everything. And it's going to depend on who you have in front of you. In a study like this where you see like, okay, pain is okay, let's go ahead and send it, let's get these people moving, right? It might be something where you're working with a fitness athlete, someone who's very highly motivated, who wants to get back into it, who's willing to push themselves. Those are the kind of patients you might have to say, okay, listen, I understand you're ready to go. You have an acute injury that's really angry, really upset. We need to dial it back. I don't want you pushing yourself to an 8 out of 10 because there's a good chance that individual, an 8 out of 10 is some pretty serious work, right? If an 8 out of 10 pain is them deadlifting 400 pounds versus them deadlifting 125 pounds in a slow tempo, right? That's a big difference. So we have to understand where they're coming from. And it might be that with someone who is highly motivated, who already has a really high pain threshold, maybe we have to dial it back a little bit. And we have to say, hey, I want to start today with a 3 out of 10. Like, don't let it really get too high. Feel comfortable, some long holds, some tempo work, things like that. How do you feel the next day? Okay, yeah, not sore, not painful, no worse. Awesome. Let's go ahead and bump that up a little bit. Let's continue to push it. So again, it's going to depend on who you're working with, where you start with. Let's go opposite end of the spectrum. Let's go someone who's not a fitness athlete. That's someone who is not pushing themselves in heavy weight or going crazy in the gym and just getting after it on a daily basis. Those individuals, if you tell them, yep, I want you to have a 6, 7 out of 10, just go ahead and kill it, wreck it, just go for it, no holds barred, let's go. They probably won't come back to see you, especially if they push themselves so hard that they're in 10 times as much pain, or they're extremely sore and have not experienced that kind of muscle soreness in their lifetime. Right? If you've ever taken the older adult courses, you've heard Dustin Jones's awesome story about the patient who he destroyed with a bunch of squats, kettlebell squats, and that poor woman thought that she was having muscle tears and ended up going to the emergency room. So if you have not taken MMOA, you should take the course just to hear that awesome story. But with that said, with those individuals, maybe we do the opposite end. Maybe we go, let's start you at a 3 or 4. They're like, this hurts, this is uncomfortable. It's like, okay, I understand. Here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it. I want you to monitor your symptoms for the next 24 to 48 hours before you come see me next. Then that gives them an opportunity to take what you're doing, and as Jeff Moore likes to talk about, building the bike, right? You're selling something like, this is what we're going to do. This is what you're going to experience. When you come back, let me know how it works. They come back the next time to see you. They're like, you know what? I was a little achy, I was a little sore, but I don't feel any worse. And maybe, in fact, I feel a little bit better. I feel a little bit stronger. I feel a little more confident. I thought that was really heavy and going to make me sore, but it didn't make me very sore at all. And that's awesome. All right, Mark, let's go. We're going to push it a little bit more. I'm going to have you work on maybe a 4 or 5 out of 10 pain. And within 1 to 2 visits, you're getting them a lot more comfortable with the idea of being able to push themselves to an area of discomfort where they can now more carefully understand what is bad pain or like pain and what is like sore or discomfort from working hard. And that's what we need to be able to get really comfortable doing, is getting these individuals comfortable with discomfort so they can push themselves once they leave therapy. Right? The goal is not to keep them there 2 days a week for the rest of their lives. The goal ideally should be to get them to sustain everything you're doing with them in the clinic for the rest of their lives. Strength training, fitness training, mobility work, whatever you're working with them, whatever you're doing with them, allow them to continue to do those things moving forward after they finish their therapy plan of care. And that's what we're trying to push for, right? So getting people comfortable with uncomfortable, being okay with some pain, and showing them and knowing that, hey, look, evidence shows that with something like this, where you just strain something, make something achy, that if we get you more comfortable with working at heavier loads and working this way, you're going to have a nicer response. And not only that, but you're not going to be as fearful. You're going to be more comfortable. You're going to be more confident. And you can live independently and do things you want to do without being afraid of being hurt or getting injured. So that is my story right there. Not my story. That's my show today. That's my topic. Hopefully that strikes a chord with some of you and you kind of take it and use it in the clinic today. Again, start with what you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable pushing someone and you're not comfortable pushing load, anything like that, start with a little bit less, but don't be afraid to progress someone. And if they have some discomfort, ask them how much, see how it feels when they recover. So after they're resting, maybe you give them 60 seconds rest. If they feel fine after 30 to 60 seconds rest, go ahead and push it a little bit more. See how they do, okay? Give these things a try, see how it changes your practice, and see how it can change your patients' lives as well. Awesome. Thank you, gang, for tuning in. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful Monday. Have a wonderful week, and we will catch you tomorrow morning on PT on Ice, the Daily Show. Take care, guys. Bye.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to the PT on Ice Daily Show. If you enjoyed this content, head on over to iTunes and leave us a review. And be sure to check us out on Facebook and Instagram at the Institute of Clinical Excellence. If you're interested in getting plugged into more ICE content on a weekly basis while earning CEUs from home, check out our virtual ICE online mentorship program at ptonice.com. While you're there, sign up for our Hump Day Hustling newsletter for a free email every Wednesday morning with our top 5 research articles and social media posts that we think are worth reading. Head over to ptonice.com and scroll to the bottom of the page to sign up.